Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Broadcasting, Randy. If you want broadcasting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Randy McCanny just joined us in the booth. Happy to have him around. We're here at Kentucky on the next day broadcast, Wind Tunnel Racing Xfinity Series. I'm Dean Doucette in the booth with me, Mr. TJ Bartell. TJ, another fine evening here to broadcast next day here at Kentucky.
Yeah, it is. Pretty unique track for what they call a cookie cutter. So a lot of wide grooves here, a lot of different strategy possibilities. So it really had a chance to be a really good, exciting race.
Absolutely, it does. And qualifying on these next day broadcasts, we can't show you much. Unfortunately, I can show you myself, so a little selfish here. We'll take a little ride along and watch me here. And I had quite a good qualifying, so interesting to take a look at this, TJ. And, it was for me, it was kind of a first lap or second lap. I think on the first lap, I had a little wiggle right there. You can see it. So I gave up and I kind of circled to the high side here.
Yeah, that seems to be what works well. If you have any kind of an issue slightly, on that first lap, you just kind of back it down and then go for it on the second lap. And of course, if you don't, then you make the first lap count.
Absolutely. Continue to watch this lap here. Pretty smooth little exit through 1 and 2 there. Probably didn't get quite as low as I would have liked, but looked pretty good. Here, you could really dive in this qualifying set late. And I kind of missed the turn, I thought, but I think it was a little faster to be a little higher there, TJ.
Yeah, I think it probably kept the car just a little bit freer rolling through there instead of kind of like pinching it a little bit and bogging it. If you really pin the bottom.
All right, let's get into our race day info here. Nice moderate track temp. Actually, let's bring up the track temp. That's air temp we're looking at. You can see the track temp 98. Not too hot, not too cool, pretty moderate, like I said. Keys to the race, tires, pitting, and strategy. I mean, tires were pretty tough here, so you had a decision whether you wanted to try and make it. And this goes with strategy and pitting. Do you want a one stopper or a two stopper? And it was a real consideration here tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Kentucky racetrack. You're carrying a lot of speed, and it's got some really flat and kind of tight corners, which really wears the tires a lot more than some other tracks that have a little bit more banking or more sweep to the corners. And it really kind of opened everything up to as far as did you want to try and push the tires as far as you could? Did you want to say, heck with it, I'm going to burn them up and make an extra stop, and would cautions come out? It really kind of opened your thinking box up to, how am I going to really set my mind and set my agenda for what I want to do in this race?
Absolutely, and we bring you up the points here. A little uh, lackluster on the image there, but we'll take it. And you can see, actually, this is unfortunate. I shouldn't have done this because this is actually the points after this race. But my goodness, look at this battle, TJ. 7 guys within 10 points. It's going to be unbelievable coming down to the next few races.
Yeah, really, with this far into the season to have that tight of a points battle just shows you the competition level here at Wind Tunnel Racing, and there's so many guys still in this that it's going to be tooth and nail all the way to the end.
Yeah. Another thing you can notice on here too is you see those incident points and incidents per race. This league chock full of green flag racers. I mean, there just isn't incidents. Matter of fact, the guys who have a little higher number, just bad luck mostly. Everybody extremely clean in this league.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean that's part of planning your race strategy because you don't generally here at Wind Tunnel plan for cautions because they don't tend to happen.
Yeah, they really don't, and you can't plan on them. That's for sure. Right now, Gil Gawk out here, first into the pits. There's Torgensen, Sweeting, Person, myself getting in there. Lots of good cars out here tonight. TJ, there's your beautiful, freaky fast machine.
Hoping it would be freaky fast anyway.
Kinsey and Banks back here. Let's get into tonight's starting order. I'm on the pole, yeehaw, and we've seen that lap, so I'm pretty adept at getting these poles. Don't ask me how, but happy to be there. The 29, Bernard Person, a really nice lap. He's going to be on the outside of row number 1. Chuck Sweeting, already 3 wins headed into this race. In this number 75, he'll start 3rd. It's Tim Bills will be starting 4th. Torgensen in 5th with Schmolenberg right there. Darren Bruce and Jesse Priest start 7th and 8th. It's Bobby Terrell back in 9th. We skipped over Tony Kvyt in 10th. Jason Spear just gridding up there. He'll start 11th. TJ, you're in 12th position. We've got Bert Wilson and Cody Kenzie, 13th and 14th. Banks and Stouffer and Gawk, Newbraw, Hanna, Adam Newton, Randy Ballard, Patrick Thompson, and Glenn Jameson rounding out the field.
Yeah, and there's some guys that are, beyond 10th in their starting positions that had really fast cars in practice. So, this field is got some speed stacked throughout it. So it's gonna really be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's good. It was super interesting. I mean, I know for myself, I came into this race now. Getting the poles one thing, it's something I seem to be pretty good at, but the race, I had no idea what I got. And I know amongst our team, TJ, we didn't really know what to run, and we just kind of picked something, each guy picking something different, and we rode with it.
Yeah, it's one of the few races, recently that I've gone into, and I just was kind of really at a loss for, what kind of car I would have. I could not get a car that was comfortable, no matter how much practicing I did and tweaking on things, and just wasn't. I was really unsure of what I was going to have.
Well, TJ, is that partially because of turn 3 here? Turn 3, just impossible to get it figured out perfect for the car and for your driving.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the truck race here, I had a truck that was really, really, really good, and I was trying to get that feel for this car, and I just couldn't. And just the differences between 3 and 1 are so different that the car's got to be set up different.
We're down and away here at Kentucky. They got a nice jump there. Bernie got a good job in 2nd to stay there. Sweeting in 3rd. It's Torgensen and Bills. The first one's battling. Bills on that high side, trying to get by, but Torgensen holding that bottom. Looks like he got a big run. He's actually going to come underneath Sweeting here, down into turn 3, and they're 3 wide.
Already 3 wide. And remember how good Tim Bills was in the truck race here, so not surprising to see him running up this far in the front.
Wow. All along, you got Darren Bruce right behind there, kind of following Bill, saying, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, 3 wide, but they continue 2 wide in front of Bills. Looks like Torgensen still working that bottom, and he's doing a heck of a job. The 98 machine looking good.
Yeah, Troy's very solid, and he had a good car on the bottom here. And the nice thing about this track is, you have plenty of room to race on this track, so it's not like you're totally dead in the water if you're not on the bottom.
And Bills, he was fast, but I mean, it just doesn't take much to get guys here very closely matched, and he's got to fight Schmallenberg right now. Up front, I'm getting heat from Bernard Persson and others as we finally get it single filed out here. You see Bruce there kind of drifting up a bit. That's going to give the bottom 2 Bills. And here goes Bernard Persson taking a peek for the lead. I know I wasn't wanting to give that up at this point.
No, because you know how, and it doesn't matter what track we're at, how important clean air is. So if you can hang on to that, you do not want to give it up.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I mean, I don't mind giving it up, but I wanted to see if he would fade first, right? Sometimes guys got 5-10 laps in them, and that's about it. And I didn't want to give it up and then have to try and get it back. But here, Bernie looks so good. You see him down to the inside of me, trying to take the lead. It's the 8 Bernard Persson.
Yeah, and we know Bernie had a really fast car in practice, and here he is. He's just kind of hugging that bottom. His car looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good at this point. A little loose there on exit, but Carl do that if you kind of over throttle it. So he's out here, and he's looking good early on.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, Bernie's one of those guys that no matter where we go, he's somebody's got a fast race car. So him in clean air is a dangerous combination for the competition.
Yeah, and I know for me, I mean, I was well aware of the tire wear and the problems here with a long-run car. I did not want to push this car, so I didn't want to let Bernie by, but he was really going. And now you see Troy try underneath me for a second. And again, I was already thinking, like, I cannot over-push this car. I mean, I was really easy on the corners, easy in and all that. So no real surprise here that I lost one, almost lost 2 there, but able to hold off Troy at that time.
Yeah, and about this point in the race, or sooner, I wonder, what the mindset is throughout the field of these drivers is, are they weighing the possibility of trying to make this on one stop, or are they committing to 2? So, you kind of wonder, are the wheels turning already?
Well, that's the thing. As we look back at Kvyat, and here's Spear, there's you, TJ, you get Stouffer back here. Who is already thinking about it? Because it wasn't just tires, right? We have also, gas mileage considerations. I mean, it was 120 laps. You had to make it 60. Let's talk a little bit about how close that was, TJ.
Well, I can tell you, I didn't do the normal thing that I do and see roughly how many laps I can go on fuel, and I thought I could go a lot further. And, it's bad on my part for not doing my homework, but when I got in the race and got a few laps in, and on our radio, we kind of started talking about it, and I was looking at my fuel mileage, and I was like, there's no way I can make it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to think about it. I had reserved the fact that, like, tire wear was so big and the drop-off was pretty consistent. I was going to do a 2-stopper no matter what, I thought. And I was going to check about halfway through this run and see, where fuel mileage was at and all that. But by then, probably too late. But with the way Bernie's driving out here, and I'm being pretty timid at this point in the race, just now starting to pick up the pace a little bit. And I thought, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to make it, TJ.
Well, by about this point or a little further in the race, I'm looking at the guys that can stretch fuel mileage, like Bernie and Chuck, and I'm seeing where they're running, and I know they're got to be running a certain amount of, they're not laying back at all to run where they are, and I'm thinking, if they're not saving by now, they're not going to try and make it on one stop.
Yeah, well, that was kind of my thinking. Everybody seems to be racing quite hard, so, as I seem to be holding up the group here, we got about 6 cars behind me as I'm trying to take it easy and still trying to maintain that spot. I mean, I got a little gap here, so I don't know if I was necessarily holding it up. It kind of looks like I was.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it looks like you're holding a line up a little bit, but you're not really, slower than the guys. It's just kind of how that draft part of this works, and how, you got to slow down so much, especially getting into 3, that I think it makes it look worse than it is.
Absolutely. As Schmallenberg and Bills go side by side, Bills up on that high side, and it's kind of working for him. A little fishtail there as he's getting a little loose. The 37 battling a loose race car, and the ever dangerous Bobby Terrell back here in 8th position. Bobby only up 1 spot so far. Not very happy with his qualifying effort here tonight.
For someone like, I've raced with Bobby for several years now, and knowing, how well of a qualifier he is, and, usually by now he's further up front. So I kind of was wondering, maybe Bobby's not happy with his car.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bobby was this wasn't his night tonight, all around. But we'll see if that plays out later on or not. Bobby can always come from the back to the front. But another thing is, maybe he's not so sad to be here. And ooh, his Bills is really wicked loose there, right in front of Bobby. And now they're side by side. And Bobby doesn't like that early on. He'll back out of that.
Yeah, he knows how important his front fenders are, so he does not want to risk that this early in the race.
Bill's car is falling apart here on lap 15. That's not a good sign, TJ, when you're thinking about going 60 laps, 40 if you're on a 2-stopper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure right now Tim Bills ain't thinking 60 laps.
No, I mean, he is fishtailing every corner. Jesse Priest making a move. So Priest, Terrell, all in this battle. In front of them, Schmallenberg and them almost 3 wide. They're fighting with Bruce, who's fighting with Torgensen. Man, there is racing going on all over.
Yeah, there really is. It seems like as soon as it kind of strings out a little bit, next thing you know, there's guys running up on each other and going too wide again.
So all this is going on. Chuck managed to get up to 3rd, back where he started, getting around Torgensen. I'm in 2nd, and Bernie up here has got about a 1.5 lead almost. And I'm starting to think, I don't know, maybe he's going to walk away, but I had faith in the long run, be patient, don't overwork the car. That's all I keep telling myself, TJ.
Yeah, and at a track like this where it's really abrasive on the right front, and then it's really abrasive driving off the rear tires, because you kind of got to slow down so much and kind of turn the car so much in the middle of 3 and 4 specifically. It's really hard on the right front and both rear tires.
It is. So Chuck right on my bumper. And, I was very worried at this point. But I was looking for a points night. So I wasn't too concerned if he could get up there and get by me. You have Torgensen, Bruce, Schmallenberg battling back here. And then it's Terrell now up to 7th. And Priest right on his bumper. Stouffer making progress. He's gotten through this pack. And then TJ, you're in a big fight here. You're underneath Bills. You got Spear here. Behind you, looks like Burt Wilson making a move on the outside of Cavett. So lots of battling going on here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was amazed that Tim Bills could hang on the race car, because when I got up behind him, for the lap or 2 before I was able to pass him, as loose as his car was, how he was able to hang on to it is beyond me. Phenomenal job of not wrecking that race car.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a setup he's running there tonight to be so loose so early. I mean, you got to be just thinking, man, this is going to be a long night.
Yeah, that's just it. And trying to set the car up for here to get it to rotate in the corners, especially, we keep talking about 3 and 4 because it's the tightest corners on the track. You kind of have to have the car loose, but there's a line you can cross where it's just way too loose. And I think for Tim, his car had crossed that line.
You see Hannah and Newbraw going at it. Patrick Thompson now. Thompson's always interesting because a real long run specialist amongst long run guys. So the 99 be starting to march forward, I would imagine. But he looks like he's very patient, is Patrick.
Yeah, I would say Patrick is really the personification of a patient driver. He doesn't get head rushing into anything. He's very methodical and patient how he drives.
Looks like Priest has gone by the 14 of Bobby Terrell, so Jesse Priest up to 7th, and Jesse's been very good lately. I mean, another guy who seemingly, for the front runners, I'd say him and Schmallenberg on the long run have really been the best, and that's saying a lot when you got Terrell and you got Sweeting around. I mean, my goodness, but yeah, Priest and Schmallenberg seemingly the best long run guys right now.
Yeah, they've both been very, very impressive with the long run pace that they have. And what I've noticed too is, especially with Priest, but even with Schmallenberg, they can move their cars around the track too. They're not just one trick ponies with stuck on the bottom. If they need to, they can move their cars around and still be fast.
You see Schmallenberg right now underneath Troy Torgensen trying to make a move. Not going to be easy to get around Torgensen. A little wiggle there. They're going to continue side by side.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part. You think you're going to be able to pass that guy, get a little wiggle, and then you're still stuck side by side. But we see Schmallenberg complete the pass, but here comes the 98 trying to cross him over.
Yeah, the dreaded crossover. You think you got it done. 3 and 4 are so difficult. Torgensen right back, grabs it right back. What a move by Troy Torgensen to hang on, and Schmallenberg's got to be all kinds of frustrated.
Yeah, because, you set that up and you think, hey, I got him cleared, and the next thing you know, you're looking at his bumper again, and you're like, dang, I got to do it again.
You're right. Not only do I got to do it again, but at first I got to get there, and you see there, car yawn out a little bit, but off the corner, pretty good from Schmallenberg. So close there. Torgensen closing the door.
Yeah, these guys are going at it here, for 25 laps in the race. But, it just shows you, Schmallenberg wants the track position because he knows how important that is the further we get into this race.
Yeah, these guys are still thinking race win. I mean, they're a little behind. We check in with our leader, Bernard Persson, up here. Got about a 1.2 second lead. So the lead coming down as me and Chuck start to run them down bit by bit here. And when I say bit by bit, I mean just that. It's very small increments here.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you're not gaining leaps and bounds. You're just chipping away at it.
It's just such a tough track. I know, like, one corner I pick up a 10th, the next corner I lose it. It was very frustrating. And having Chuck there, I kept telling myself, ignore him. Just don't even pretend he's not even there, because if you start thinking about him, you're going to lose your racing line. Schmallenberg trying to make another move here.
He's going to give it a shot one more time and see if he can't clear the 98 for good this time.
You see a little wiggle, a little bob and a weave. Probably not going to get it done here. Schmallenberg continues the frustration, and this is allowing Bruce to get right back in this thing. And Darren Bruce, another long-run guy. I mean, I could say it about everybody, but the 4, he's been so solid lately. Darren Bruce, man, do not sleep on him.
No, he just quietly goes about his business, and he's another guy that's just methodically good on these long runs. And these two battle in the 90 and the 98. It just brings him right back in there in no time.
Yeah, and he's another guy with great patience, so he's just going to kind of save his stuff and watch this play out.
Yeah, he's similar to Bobby because he knows that, his front fenders are his best friends, and he's not going to, risk putting his car in a bad spot. He's going to let these guys sort it out and then make his way by if he can.
I don't know if they ever will here. Looks like they're doing battle. Chuck was thinking about making a move there. And Schmallenberg edges in front that lap, so he's got a little better position down into 3 this time. Can he get it done? Looks like Torgensen
looking like it now.
He looks like he's got it, but last time Torgensen came back on him. I think he drifted a little too high that time, so Schmallenberg now up to 4th position.
And now, can he hold it?
I think, that's the thing. I think he can. I think you can see him there. He's opening up a gap already as Bruce looking on Torgensen now. Torgensen really getting frustrated at this point.
Yeah, because if you lose one position, it's one thing, but when you lose a position like that after you fought hard, and now you've got the other guy on your tail, that starts to get frustrating because your car's going in the wrong direction.
TJ Martell in the booth with us here underneath teammate Bobby Terrell, and Bobby pretty frustrated himself right now, even though he was usually very courteous. He's probably not willing to give you this spot at this point in the race, TJ.
No, he was not willing to give me this spot at this point in the race because I thought I had him, and I thought he might back out and let me go, which there's nothing wrong with what he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm just kind of chuckling, but I thought I was going to be able to get by him, but I just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough to complete the pass. And like I said, Bobby, points leader going into the race. He's hemorrhaged enough in his mind. He's in 8th, an unfamiliar position for him. So he wasn't willing to give it up. Behind you guys, you got Jason Spear. Then it's Stouffer with Bert Wilson coming on him. So Bert having himself a bit of a run here in 12th place, starting to make some moves.
Yeah, Bert was looking kind of strong in my mirror at this point, the way he closed up on Stouffer there, because Stouffer's no slouch either, so...
No, not at all. Stouffer, very, very good race car driver up here fighting with Bert Wilson. And these guys pretty evenly matched here. Let's check in on our leader. And wow, how do you do? Looks like myself and Chuck Sweeting have run him down, or mostly got that lead to under a half second now. Bernie's really got to be thinking, what kind of shape am I in here? Lap 34 of 120. It's getting interesting now because if you're doing a two-stopper, pit stops are getting close. And I can tell you right now, TJ, that's what I was thinking. I was no longer holding anything. I was like, I'm going two-stop, and I'm going to start putting the throttle down and burning this stuff up. And that's how you can see I'm starting to open up a bit of a gap to Chuck. Not much, but a little bit, because I'm giving whatever I can give here.
Yeah, and by this point in the race, you've made your decision whether you're going to be doing a one-stop or a two-stop. So if you're on the two-stop thing, you've got no tires to save because you're going to be pitting fairly shortly, so you might as well go and get what you can.
Yeah, and I found a little something in 1 and 2, just the way I was kind of entering that. I got a little extra speed, but 3 and 4 still dumbfounding me. And I was just pretty happy that I was able to hold off Chuck at this point. We're going to see here, we're on lap 35. It's Person, Doucette, Sweeting. Schmallenberg has made his way to 4th, and he is closing the ever-dangerous Paul Schmallenberg. Torgensen doing a nice job of hanging on to 5th. Bruce right there. It's Priest 7th. Terrell 8th. Jason Spear having a nice run here. He's in 9th. TJ, you finish out the top 10 here. And you've lost a spot to Spear here, so what were you thinking at this point?
At this point, Spear had caught me. He was a little quicker, and my car was getting loose, and I was thinking, I'm going to pit a little bit early.
All right, TJ looking for an early stop, as not only has Jason got around, but now you've got Stouffer and Wilson right behind you. And it is, the pit window is open here, so expect some people to come in. Oh, and it looks like Priest way up the track. That's going to put Bobby Terrell up in front of him. Behind, it looks like Wilson trying to make a move again.
Yeah, Bert's looking really good right here, racing against Christopher.
Yeah, he is. He's looking very, very good. And you got Banks back here in 13th, another long run guy. Banks, he can get up here and get one, but you got to think he's going one stop. He's probably being very conservative. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, to be honest, when I saw Banks where he was on my relative, I was like, I bet you money he is saving fuel and tires to do a one stop.
We hop on board with you, TJ. Banks running that high side, seemingly purposeful, and here you go. On to pit road, live, sort of live, next day live. TJ on to pit road. Pretty good entrance there. It's a tricky little pit road to get onto.
Yeah, I was not going to get a speeding ticket like I did in the truck race, so I was a little tentative getting on, but I figured that would be better than the alternative.
Well, that's what I mean by tricky is like you get on late on the pit road, but it's still too slow. Like, not you, people, right? It's just very, very tough pit road, at least for me. Right now, Person managing to not only hold on, but he's regained about 3/10 here. So Bernie, late in this run, starting to come on.
Yeah, I mean, the pace that Bernie's running, I would be looking for him to pit sometime in the next five laps or so. That's kind of what my thought process would be on that. Same with you and Chuck.
Yeah, well, we see, like, pit road is up. I'm going to reload that. Yeah, it's still not that clear. Not sure what's going on there, but nonetheless, you can see you've pitted. Jamieson's pitted on lap 38. In comes Stouffer right now, so Chris Stouffer on pit road as the pit window has opened up.
Yeah, and the guys now are, thinking, should I pit now and get fresh tires and make what I can, or should I run this a little bit longer so I got fresher tires, towards the end of the next run? So this is all part of that tire pitting strategy.
Schmallenberg's in. Torgensen is in. Banks from about 12th position comes in. So pit stops, a lot of two-stoppers. I'm surprised to see Banks in on a two-stopper. I thought with the position he had on the track, he might be milking it, but no, he's in. So we're on lap 42. Lap 40 would be the third split, but I can tell you myself, I was planning on going, I thought 44 was my lap, if I remember correctly. It's Bobby Terrell, Priest, Wilson, Burt Wilson come in, so we're having a hard time getting the camera on him. So I was probably more focused on my pit stop at this point than anything else, and this is I'm losing time to Bernie. He's opened up about a second lead now, and Chuck has got right back to my bumper, so a little disappointing heading into pit stops without a gap to Chuck. I was pretty convinced that Bernie and Chuck were both pitting, and I was trying to outweight them. I was thinking, well, let them go in one lap earlier, because tires is so important here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's part of your strategy is your tires against theirs.
Hop on board with me here. You see high on the track. Doesn't look like I'm pitting this time, so lap 44, if that's what I was thinking, I threw it out the window because I'm still thinking, Bernie and Chuck aren't pitting. The last thing I want is worse tires than these two guys, but we'll ride on through here. I'm pretty sure I come in and pit here. We'll see the entrance. Down into 3. You want to get to the bottom here, but you don't want to lose too much speed either. Come in, you hear me gas up a bit, and no. So we'll vacate that. Apparently I waited to 46, maybe more, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I myself had lost track of who had pitted at what point. I just knew, I was out here with my tires and I was checking to see from the crew chief what my wear was to possibly make an adjustment the next time I came down pit road.
See here. There I go. Finally on the pit road. And a pretty mild pit entrance there. And it's kind of what Kentucky's like. Like I said, you think you're coming in hot, but then it's so long to the line that you ended up being slow. Kinsey comes in as well. Looks like Hannah's coming in. So we got a few more, but we got a lot of one-stoppers out here.
Yeah, and at this point, with you running a little bit longer and some of these other guys running a little bit longer, I wasn't sure at this point even that anybody was going to try a one stopper. So I'm just thinking, hey, maybe, their thing is to just run this run a little bit long and then they'll have 2 shorter runs.
Yeah, I didn't know at this point, and I thought there's no way I'm going to do any more laps. It's too much into the run to split it in thirds and make it make sense, at least to my strange Canadian brain. So, but Bernie out here doing a heck of a job. Him and Chuck Sweeting. Now, this I remember getting to lap 45 and thinking, man, it's only 15 more laps. But I didn't have the gas to do it, so I don't know how these guys did. But they managed to drive just a little bit different, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me with most of the guys that were on the one stop were actually running up in the top 5, the whole race. And usually, if you've got to save fuel at all, running up in the top 5 is not going to save you fuel.
See, as we look back, all of our leaders, that's Newbra up to 6th now. Kvyat, he's in 7th. Tim Bills, so loose and yet still on the track. Can you believe it, TJ, as Patrick Thompson comes in?
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed at that because I thought for sure, with as loose as Tim's car was earlier on, he would be one of the guys that short pitted. And when I came around and, he was a lap ahead of me, I'm like, wow, he is still out here. And his car didn't look nearly as loose now as it did earlier on. So something must have changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. The setup on that car is seemingly coming to him with the lower fuel load and the worn tires. It's coming in, so very interesting to be certain. We look back on the first of our stoppers. I think that's going to be Schmallenberg, who really came out. I waited so long. Schmallenberg was in earlier, and as was Torgensen, and yourself, TJ, as well. All you guys, Stouffer's there, Terrell's there, Banks. I mean, I'm just talking from my perspective. I come out, man, oh man, am I behind some cars? And I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, wow, I waited way too long. I don't know if I can make up all this track position.
Yeah, and that's the daunting thing. If you do run a few laps longer, it's so demoralizing when you come out and you see how much track position and positions on the track on the running board you've lost, and it's like, man, how do you make that up?
I had no idea, but Banks making a move underneath of Bruce, so Banks looking good. Bruce is on a one stopper though, don't forget that. So Bruce in 3rd place currently, having himself a night, and that's a great run. There I come, and I'm trying to pick through this traffic and get underneath him pretty easily there. I got Banks in front of me. Up front, yeah. Pearson still leading Sweeting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, once that first pit stop cycle starts, it seems like you are running in traffic like every lap or every other lap or every couple laps because of the disparity in speeds with new tires versus old. So you're always having to kind of navigate your way around.
And TJ locked in with teammate Bobby Terrell again. So you guys just seemingly can't get away from each other tonight.
No, and ordinarily I would be really happy to be running, right there with Bobby because normally he's closer to the front, but I think we were both just kind of missing it just a tad, but still not bad nights going for me so far. So, my optimism's still there.
You see me trying to get underneath of the 88 of Banks. I'm going to do that. We're going to go in and look for my cockpit here, and you can see what I seen in front of me. So Chuck's on old tires, that's no problem, but look what I see ahead, TJ, is a gaggle of cars here, and they're all kind of racing pretty hard, and I'm thinking, oh boy, how am I going to get through this?
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, you got to be a certain amount patient, but, you still got to be aggressive and try and, make use of the new tires as quick as you can.
Yeah, I tried here, and I had to hit the brakes because I just didn't have the room, so I had to brake it there, regroup, And that cost me a bit of time there when, you're trying to, on a two-stopper, trying to get every lap to be just perfect. That was one I wish I had back. I tried to set him up for the sweep under, but Stouffer was underneath someone and couldn't really drift up the track and leave that door open, so that was a tough one.
Yeah, and that just shows you the importance of where you catch somebody on the track and as to how quick and clean you can get around them, or in this case, not.
Yeah, in this case not, as they finally work underneath Stouffer up front, and they're actually right behind me. And that's Person still on the track. Sweeting still out there. He's right there in second. You go back a little further, it's Bruce in third position, and he's got Jason Spear. Jason Spear having a nice run. Fourth place here on lap 58, TJ, and he's in. Jason Spear, the first to come in. 58. I don't think he wants to come in that 58.
No, when I saw Jason was pitting on lap 58, I'm like, I don't think he can make it. And then if he can't do it, can the guys running ahead of him make it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm thinking too. So I don't think he can do 62 laps after doing only 58. That's kind of heartache for him there.
Yeah, to get kind of that close to the halfway point, but not quite making it, and to, put yourself in a position where you can't make it.
And Chuck Sweeting has just blown by. So Chuck must have pitted. Let's have a look at her pit board. No. So what has happened to allow Chuck Sweeting to all of a sudden blow by Bernard Person?
Yeah, he looked a lot faster than Bernie there. I wonder if Bernie got loose.
He might have got loose there. Very interesting. But Bernard Person on lap 60 coming in. So it's Sweeting and Bruce still on the track. Sweeting with a nice lead now. And I imagine he's coming in this time by.
Perhaps Bernie's car was sputtering on running out of fuel.
Oh, that's a good point. That's very possible as well. So here comes Sweeting circling through. And very, very good. A better entrance. And this was key. That was a really solid entrance by him. Bruce behind, who's been really, as of late, our pit road guy. I mean, he's been getting on and off pit road like nobody. So, the best of the bunch. So the four doing a good job. Sweeting doing a good job. Schmallenberg inherits the lead now. And that's very interesting. Paul Schmallenberg on the two-stopper has inherited the lead. Newbra comes in. He's on the one-stopper. Torgensen up to second place now. I'm up to third. So interesting. It was only laps before I was in 14th position. Now I'm in third and feeling a little better as I've gotten by Bobby, who's on the same strategy, and I got fresher rubbers, so I'm starting to walk away from him a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing that, once the guys that had stayed out stopped, how much your track position and your outlook on things changes. And then, you got to wait. Again. Yeah, because you got to wait a certain amount into this run to see where you're going to shake out to those guys that stayed out. Is it a possibility that you're going to be ahead of them, or you can catch them, or is it they just beat you?
So Bills coming in on lap 62 with that car. I can't believe it. Tim Bills, amazing run he had on that loose car. Seemed so loose early on. Schmallenberg, your leader, having himself a night. I mean, Schmallenberg has been so good. We talk about Bruce or Sweeting on pit stops, but we didn't watch Paul's. But, man, his choice of when to pit and how he pits, he's been doing just awesome here as of late.
Yeah, and he's put down well over a 2-second lead on second place. He is really going to town here.
Yeah, and you see there's me in third, Torgensen in second. And, Torgensen 2.4 back. I'm, over 3 back. Then it's Bobby Terrell, who's a good 4.5 seconds back. You're there, TJ. You're about 5.5 seconds back. So all of us kind of, we only got another 16 laps in this run, really, and we're trying to get all we can get here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to, if you're going to run the extra pit stop, you've really got to kind of drive your car a lot harder, I think, through the entirety of your run than the guys that are going to try and do this on one stop.
Stouffer and Banks battling for 6th and 7th here. Stouffer has been good all night, just not good enough to make those passes and kind of make those positions up. So somewhat frustrated 13, but having a nice run in 7th position. Priest kind of in the same position, 8th place, and you know, Priest been so good lately. He's probably not ecstatic, not unhappy, not happy. It's one of those types of races, TJ.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, sometimes you're going to have races where you've just got to finish the best you can. You're not going to have a race-winning car. You're not going to, you know, pass a bunch of people. But you got a chance at a decent night, and you just got to, you know, take that and move on to the next one.
So here I come. I think I had pretty much fresher rubber than Troy, and I was very good through 1 and 2. 3 and 4 here, not so much, but got a good run this time. And I thought, okay, I got him now because I'm so good in 1 and 2. We'll see how this plays out, though.
I don't know. Troy seems to get really good runs off the corner I don't know how he does it, but he seems to be really fast coming off the corner into the straightaways.
He is, but I do complete that pass, and now I'm thinking, heck, I've been doing pretty good here. Maybe I can go up here and run down Paul Schmallenberg. I don't know. I'm about 2.5 seconds plus behind him right now, TJ, and thinking, I think I can get him. I mean, there's only 12 laps, but I'm going to get up here.
Well, that, and you know, you had a couple lap fresher tires, so I'm sure that's weighing in your mind too, and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to run this guy down and take lead back.
Yeah, I mean, and initially it looked that way as I pulled a quick 2/10 on him. You know, got this thing down to about 2 seconds, but I got to tell you, that Schmallenberg, so good on the long run. Very tough to get up here and battle with him. Bobby doing a really nice job here in 4th position, our points leader. You know, doing what champions do and taking an off night and sticking it in the top 5 here right now. So he's in pretty good shape. But remember, the one-stoppers. Let's go back and have a look. Bernard Persson back here. He's the first of the bunch. Actually, I think Patrick Thompson's on a 2-stopper, I think. So Bernard Persson and Chuck Sweeting here coming around Mark Hanna. And these guys nose to tail, and they're battling for what will be the lead in another 10 or 15 laps after pit stops.
And, you know, right behind them on the same strategy, very impressive, is Jason Spear.
Yeah, Jason right in the mix here. Don't sleep on Spear. Having himself a night. He's not just on the same strategy, but he is in the hunt here, chasing down Sweeting in person. So the 83, wow, what a night. Having himself a really nice run. Cody Kinsey pulling into the pits there. And he's going to get service here on lap 71. Interesting call.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit early, but then again, you know, maybe his car wasn't handling the way he wanted it to, and figured he better get in and make a change.
So the gap to the lead about 2.1. So I picked up another 10th, but I tell you, every 5 laps, those 10ths got harder and harder to come by, TJ. There's Bobby Terrell, and he is, or that's you, TJ, my mistake. TJ, you're in here fighting with guys on different strategies. You got Banks right behind you, though. He'd be on that 2-stopper as well. I'm not sure about Kvyat, what his situation is.
Well, I know Tony had run long and had pitted fairly recently, so he's on fresher tires. And, you know, I didn't want to hold him up, but I knew if once I let him go that we're going to see what happens here is this Banks just is able to follow him through. So, you know, you kind of give up that spot, but not that big a deal for me at this point.
No, I mean, one spot here, you know, we're just at the halfway, a little over halfway. Not a huge concern at all. So, but Banks has really recovered nice. He was struggling early on in 12th, 13th position. Now up to 5th. Again, on a 2-stopper, so that's a little different. Behind you guys is Newbraw. He's on a 1-stopper, currently shown in 17th, but that's going to improve here as the night goes on. Check in on Bernard Person again. He's still leading the one-stoppers, and Chuck's still right there. We'll see where Jason Spear still, he's back behind these two other guys, but doing really well. I mean, he is hanging with these guys.
Yeah, Spear continues to impress with this run because before they pitted, he was a pretty good gap from, the front two to him, so he made up a lot of ground.
And there goes Chuck Sweeting going for what would be the lead after pit stops. He's way on the bottom. Way up the track is the 8 machine. Big run by Bernie. Bernie going to hold him off, but Chuck's got position going down into 1.
I'm kind of surprised these two kind of battling for the lead, especially like Chuck. I would have figured that maybe he would have just ridden behind Bernie for a lot longer and saved fuel, but maybe he didn't need to save fuel.
All right, so Chuck Sweeting now has gotten by Bernie. That's big. And Chuck in prime position, but our leader still Paul Schmallenberg, and I got to tell you, the lead exactly where it was last time we looked, right around that 210, 220 mark, as the progression for myself in second has stopped. And Schmallenberg once again showing his long run ability. Man, I got to tell you, I was supremely frustrated back there not being able to close. I was trying everything, TJ.
Yeah, and that just shows you how strong a car Paul Schmallenberg had on the long run to be able to maintain that gap on you with the fresher tires. That's really a testament to Paul's car.
Bobby continues in 4th. He's up 5 spots. It's Banks in 5th. Up 10 spots on the evening. Glenn Jamieson in the 63 hits pit road.
And this looks like it's probably just a little bit of a short pit for the second stop, but well within the window.
You see our gaps. It's still status quo. Torgensen doing a real nice job. I got to give Troy a lot of credit here. His car wasn't perfect. He was doing what he could with it, and he was hanging on really well, not only to third, but maintaining gaps. He's still within striking distance here, TJ.
Yeah, Troy's another guy that just always seems to get the most out of his car, and good clean driver, very methodical, and able to just get everything out of the car that he can.
Yeah, this excellent work from Troy. Bobby Terrell 4th, Banks 5th. There you are, TJ. How are you feeling at this point in the race here in 6th position?
I'm not feeling too bad, because like I said, when I started the race, I really didn't know what to expect. So running 6th here, had an idea of what I was going to do for an adjustment on the pit stop. So was looking forward to that. Was going to run this one a little bit longer than I did before. But yeah, I was feeling like I had a decent, good finish coming.
All right, and there's Sweeting in person. So these two on the one stopper. And, barring a caution here, they're in pretty good shapes as pit stops really about to commence here. And this is interesting because Schmallenberg always the first one in, and here he comes. Right on schedule, right on lap 80. The 90 comes down pit road. Pretty solid entrance, nothing too special there. And I assume the lead here, and I'm thinking... Last time I did a few more and still couldn't catch him. I didn't want to give him that kind of lead this time, and I was humming and hawing whether I should come in or not, and I think I decided to come in this lap, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, that's what changed your strategy, having those fresher tires, and you couldn't run the 90 down. So you can't really afford to let him get out there on fresher tires than you for 5 or 6 laps again.
Yeah, apparently I ran one more as I continue to misread my own strategy. There's Torgensen, Terrell's in, and Banks coming in. So these guys all come in, and I got to say, I've got to get into pit road. If I could talk to myself yesterday, it's time to pit, buddy.
I wish I could talk to myself yesterday.
So here I am, a little higher than I want to be. But I'm definitely coming in, trying to get a decent run this time. and still a little timid, I gotta say, but not bad. Behind me, looks like that's you, TJ, coming in. You got Priest right behind you.
Yeah, this I kind of wanted to pit the lap before, but I was kind of I couldn't get there, so I had to go an extra lap.
So all this goes on. We are not even in our stalls yet, and Chuck is the leader. Person in second. You got Spear third. Bruce in fourth, and Bruce doing a nice job. He's kind of closing in as well. And it's Patrick Thompson right now in the 99, up 17 spots as of right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, those top 4 or 5 that you just mentioned, those guys all were doing a really, really good job because they were pretty close running here, so they were kind of stacked together. But running that long on tires and that varying traffic with people with new and fresher tires, it's easy to get caught up in something, make a mistake and whatnot. But those guys did a really, really good job.
So you see me coming out. Torgensen able to get around me. So that was a little frustrating. So I've fallen back to 11th position here, and I am 39 seconds off the lead. Don't know if that's possible in 35 laps, TJ.
I think honestly at this point, if you hadn't said it, I think we were, as a team, except for Darren, we were thinking those guys beat us tonight.
Absolutely. And you see Schmallenberg, he's gotten by our leader, got his lap back. So out of the 2 stoppers, Schmallenberg by far and away has done the nicest job. He's gained on me. Now I pitted 2 laps later. He's gained about 5. Well, he was 2 seconds ahead. He gained about 3.5 seconds during those pit stops. And trying to run a guy down like Paul, that's very, very tall order.
Very impressive what Paul did. I mean, that's just some great driving and some great getting on and off pit road, and the strategy part of it, he nailed really well. So what a great job.
So 33 to go here, and it's Chuck Sweeting, Bernard Person, Jason Spear. As you see, I just went by Jason, so I'm trying to get a lap back. That's how far back I am. I got to get up here and pass the leaders not once but twice. That's an awful tall order. There's Darren Bruce in fourth, Thompson, and Schmallenberg. Schmallenberg made his way up to 6 on a 2-stopper, TJ, but he's got 23 seconds to the next position.
Yeah, he's remarkably like the head of the field as far as the 2-stop guys go, but it just shows, even as good as he's run here, how far he is behind those 1-stop guys. But can he make it up?
And that's, the beauty and the tragedy of this style of a race, where Paul may be the best car on the track, hard to say for certain, but he's driving so well here tonight, and he's really got to be hating this 1-stop strategy, possibly taking a win away from him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the frustration, like you said. I mean, as good as he's run all night, and it's like, geez, I'm this far behind those guys.
Patrick Thompson hits pit road, so he'll relinquish 5th. That'll put Schmallenberg up to 5th. Sweeting now working on some lap traffic, and I'm working on him. I'm out of patience. I'm going wherever I have to go as I go underneath him, underneath Newbra, and try and make some time up here.
Yeah, because you got a lot of ground to make up, so you really don't have any time to be patient. You have to go.
Yeah, there's no more patience now. I'm not going to wreck or nothing, but I am definitely on the go mode here. And a little frustrated, too, during my fresh tire run. Like, nothing seemed to work out, TJ. When I come out on fresh tires, I had all kinds of traffic around me, and I just couldn't get any of those real fast laps in that I would have liked.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but where you catch the guys that you're passing, they're on different strategies and slower than you are, really can make or break your laps.
See Torgensen in front of me here, and this has been a constant theme. Troy would be in front of me, I'd be trying to run him down and pass him, and Schmallenberg in 5th now. He's got 4 to 5 or 6 seconds on both of us. Spear in fourth, and he is catching teammate Bernard Person. So Jason Spear continues to impress here tonight.
Awesome run by Jason. I mean, to see him reeling in Bernie here. And like I said before, you know, he was well behind these guys before they all pitted that first time. So he's really done a great job in making up so much track time.
Yeah, just an awesome job, Jason Spear. There's Bernard Person right in front of him. Darren Bruce right in front of him. So three of them. That's second, third, and fourth right there. You look a little further ahead, and Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting now with a 4.5 second lead on these guys. Chuck, man, he is always dangerous. So tough, TJ.
Yeah, he is, and it seems like Chuck's one of those guys that can do it all. You know, he's got short run speed. He can save fuel. Doesn't matter the track type. He's just always somebody that's in contention for the wins, it seems.
75, doing a heck of a job leading this thing. Let's see, Schmallenberg, he was about 23 seconds back to the next position. Now 16.5 basically. So he's making progress, but we're down to 26 laps left, and you know, you're going to be hard pressed to get up here and run down these top four guys at this point in the race.
Yeah, I mean, he's making some pretty good progress on him here, but you know, the further he goes on his tires is kind of going to equal out that gap that, you know, he's able to make up. So it's got to be kind of frustrating for him to kind of, like, in his book, you know, the way he planned his race, to do everything right and be so far behind.
You see here, we hop on board mine. Now, I wasn't a big fan of 3 and 4 at all, and I tried to stay a little lower than Troy, and it seemed to be working for me. But through 1 and 2, TJ, I absolutely loved this car. It was a rocket through 1 and 2, and I thought I could get him here.
Yeah, it seems like with this track, you got to give up one end to be fast on the other. I don't know that it's possible to be, you know, super fast on both ends.
And you see I'm earlier on the brakes and off the gas, trying to cut it a little lower here, get a big run, and it looks like I'm going to get him here.
And look at Troy fighting back on the outside.
Yeah, Troy doing a nice job. You know, at this point in the race, you're not going to give up anything, but I think he was, you know, he kind of did there. He's just like, I'm beat. There's too many laps left. I can't hold you up. So Troy relinquishing that spot. And I was happy to have 6th, but not only have I, you know, I haven't gained anything on Paul. You know, and Paul just continues to amaze me. Schmallenberg up here in 5th, just doing such a good job. Let's check in on what Jason Spear. Let's actually hop on board with Jason and see how he's driving this thing.
We see Jason's back in 4th now, so Darren's got around him. So I wonder if he had something to catch a lap car in the wrong spot, or maybe his handling's going away a little bit.
Could be. Could have been also what lap he pitted on. All these things could be factors, but he's right in it. Let's move up to Darren Bruce, because Bruce, in a battle here, you got Bill's in there. That looks like Bert Wilson, and it's, oh, and Bill's super loose there on the corner. That'll scare you. And here we go, Bruce to the high side. You see in front of this pack is Bernard Person for 2nd place.
Yeah, because you can see Darren's like, hey, I'm going to be catching Bernie here, and then he's got the 2 cars in front of him, and you see one getting loose, and that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, it'll scare you for sure, but Jason's still right in this mix as well. 22 laps left in this race. Chuck Sweeting out here with a nice lead. He's pretty comfortable at this point. Not sure how he pulled this off, because Bernie was in it the whole way and was leading a lot of this race. So Bernie currently in 2nd position and trying to hold off Darren Bruce.
Yeah, and remember, these guys have been out on these tires for a really long time at this point. So, handling is really starting to go away for them, and they are really battling the cars.
Bernie way up the track early. That seems to work for him, though. Spruce, a little later exit, gets a bit of a run here as we head down into one and see if he tries to poke a nose underneath. Not yet. Well, there it is. Bernie way up the track this time, as he might be letting him go. Very interesting to see the 8 let him go there. Something off with that machine, perhaps a bad adjustment or something, but Bernie, the wise man that he is, just says, yeah, you're better right now. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, and Bernie might be having to pedal it a little bit because he may be close on fuel. Maybe the tire. You never know. What's going through the driver of the 8 car's mind right here.
Well, that's true. Bernie was one of the first in. I think he came in at the tail end of lap 59, actually. So, there was no room for air, and he might have been pedaling just a little bit to save a little fuel. And that could be Jason's issue as well. Maybe Jason, has to do a little bit of saving and just faded a little bit off these guys. But hey, 4th place, looking good. Paul Schmallenberg now 10 seconds behind these guys. He made up 6 more, but with 18 to go, I think he's pretty much stuck there. You got myself. I've made up a couple of tenths on Paul, but that's about it. Opened up a little bit on Troy, who's in 7th. Bobby hanging on for everything he's worth here, back in 8th position. And Bobby just, and he's in the wall right there. So Bobby catches the wall, and I got to tell you, I remember at team radio, he wasn't too happy about it.
I'm going to say, and that's the point when we heard on the radio that Bobby became unhappy.
Yeah, Bobby's race wasn't perfect from the beginning with his strategy, car, and everything wasn't really working out. Qualifying not working out for the likes of Bobby, used to being up front. And after hitting that wall, he was really unhappy.
Yeah, you don't normally see Bobby get too flustered by things, but last night was one of the ones that kind of frustrated him, and it's kind of easy to see why. But he does not give up; he keeps on going.
Absolutely, he does. You see Jason Spear coming underneath of Tim Bills. So Tim Bills back in 17th position. Really not his night tonight with that loose car. And even though he's on a one-stopper, that did not work out for him at all, TJ.
No, and it's really surprising to me because Tim's car was really quick in practice, and like I said, he won the truck race pretty handily and seemed to have a really good handle for this racetrack. And this car getting as loose as it did so early was pretty surprising.
Yeah, it was very, very surprising. So he tries that high line, not able to make it work. Spear gets on through. Looking on Hannah right behind him. You got Jamison back here. We're on 14 to go.
And at this point, everybody I think on the racetrack is thinking, I'm pretty much where I am right now. This thing's going to run out to the end. The only question remains is, of the guys that are doing the one stop, are any of them going to run out of fuel?
Absolutely. I mean, and it doesn't look like they did, but they were going to, because they all made it to 60 and beyond. So, my hopes, I was in 6th, and I just had no hopes. I was like, okay, 6th place. Let's take it and move home and call it a night. And, good points night. And I was content at this point, TJ.
I was having a decent night, on my opinion, on my end, for what I said, going into the race. I was in 10th, and I was catching Bobby after he had hit the wall and had the right front damage. So I was like, well, I want to finish 9th, so that's not too bad, really, all things considered. So I wasn't, ecstatic with the night, but I wasn't, bummed out about it either. I thought it was, decent for what I expected going in.
So here we got Glenn Jamison making a move on Mark Hanna. He's going to clear him there.
And I'm guessing Jameson's got fresher tires than these guys because I see he's down an extra lap and he's really making a lot of speed here.
Yeah, I would think that'd be fair to say. He's much quicker here, and it looks like he's hooking the bottom a lot better. You see him drive through the corner here in 3 and 4, get extended out. He's got a big, big run here, nowhere to put it. Backs her down a little bit, trying to get a nose underneath of Tim Bills. Come down into the corner, and bam! He's into him. Bills is around, so Tim Bills spinning there. And that actually brings out a caution. Surprisingly enough, not sure how the caution come out. It's not going to show on your screen on our next day broadcast. But that will bring out a caution and flip this thing on its head. I got to tell you got Sweeting leading. Bruce has made it the second, Person in third, and Spear in fourth. TJ, I'm sitting back in sixth behind Paul Schmallenberg, and I'm licking my chops. Absolutely licking my chops, going, oh my God, I thought sixth place. We've succumbed to that thought and thought, okay, that's a good night. But now I'm thinking, oh no. We're gonna get up here and steal this win somehow.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you and Schmallenberg being the front runners of the two-stop strategy here. We know you've got a great short run car 'cause you sat on the pole. Schmallenberg has got a really fast car, so you guys got to be thinking, hey, I am right back in this for a shot at the win here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking win. I'm thinking, more realistically, just to gain a spot or two, really. And depending on, so I came in sixth, I really would like to be on the inside. So I was hyper focused on having a great stop here. I'm trying to get up to the bumper of the 90. I mean, you can't speed, but I'm doing everything possible, going one over, letting it off to one under the speed limit to balance that out, and trying to get in deep into my stall here. And I got the first stall, and I thought, well, maybe we pick up a spot here, just mainly because of where your pit stall is.
Yeah, this is definitely the money stop in this race because nobody was expecting this caution. Here it comes. So here's your opportunity to make up some spots, or if you blow it, lose a ton of spots, and then your race is really over.
Well, and that's what happened to Schmallenberg. You can see Schmallenberg dropped 2 spots. So a poor stop from the 90. You kind of missed what happened there. Maybe he kind of blew his stall. I'm not sure. But he lost 2 spots. And I gained. Well, I was so thrilled because I'm in 5th now. I'm on the low side with Person and Sweeting in front of me. I thought, hey, realistically, 3rd place is a real possibility here.
Oh, absolutely. And, for me personally, like I'm thinking as I'm making adjustments, for this last less than 10 lap run, I wish I knew if I was going to be starting on the bottom or the top, because if I'm starting on the bottom, I'm going to have the car not too loose so I can get the good drive off. If I know I'm going to be starting on the outside, I want to free that thing up so I can really roll the top.
Let's see, Newbraw's in, Thompson's in. I don't know if Thompson got a lucky dog, maybe? Someone would have got lucky dog.
I believe it was Tony. No, it wasn't Tony. It was Newbrow.
Yeah, Michael Newbraw, your lucky dog. So he's up in 13th, getting service done. Not sure why Patrick came in. Interesting though. I think Patrick hyper aware, being a new guy, and I think he's already resigned himself to next season. Because I've done some hot lapping with Patrick, and let me tell you, this man can get up there and challenge for poles. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he's more than capable.
Yeah, I think Patrick is a very, very quick driver, and I think we are going to see that from him in the near future for sure.
He's saying that thing's carrying some sand around in it.
I don't know that he's sandbagging in the typical sense of sandbagging, but I think Patrick is presenting what you want a new driver to a league to present, and that's a careful, clean driver. and he doesn't want to get mixed up with guys battling for points kind of thing. So I think that's Patrick's mindset. I might be wrong, but yeah, I look for that guy to be in the top 5 next year a lot.
I think so too, and I try and recommend this for new people. Now Patrick, I think's maybe going overboard with it, but that's perfectly fine. And not only that, it's great for Patrick because everybody loves him so far, or doesn't even know he's in the series. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's so quiet, not causing any problems, so he's doing everything you want from a new driver, and I absolutely love it. Just a model guy that you'd want for a new driver.
Yeah, and that's just going to earn that respect from the long-term guys down the road. So, out on the racetrack, when he needs a break, he'll get it because of how he's conducted himself,
All right, TJ, restart time. We don't get many chances like this in this league. 7 to go. I put a couple of tape on. That was it. What'd you do, and what are you thinking here?
A little bit of tape on and didn't take any fuel, and said, I'm just going to drive this thing as hard as I possibly can and see what happens.
I think we all were thinking that. Some of us a little concerned that there'd be cautions again or something. I was pretty convinced there wouldn't be, but you never know in these situations. Anything can happen. We're going to see here. This is, like I said, when you're in a league like this where you just don't get too many restarts, you get one late in the race like this, and it's so exciting for everybody. But here we go. Sweeting and Bruce. Darren got a real shot here on the outside of the front row. There goes Sweeting, down and away. Bruce files into second, doing a nice job. Not quite there yet. Bernie looking actually trying to steal second away.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side going down into 1 and 2 here. And Jason Spears all over the back of the 4.
Everybody through this corner pretty good. And Bruce kind of closed me off there for third. I was thinking about moving up. I was in 4th. Probably should have been happy, but wasn't. I was looking for more. Driving hard through this corner. Everything okay so far. I'm on the low side. And guys behind me are everywhere. Up front, Sweeting. Bruce now challenging Bernard Persson. Come through 1 and 2. Oh, and I break loose. That's where I broke loose, and it broke loose a second time. Torgensen down the track to avoid me. What an excellent job by him. I get killed for time. Bruce underneath of Bernard Persson for second. They come side by side here to the line. Sweeting
what a battle for
first.
second place.
It's a great battle, TJ.
These guys are just door to door.
Bruce driving it in hard. Got himself a nice corner there. The car very good through 1 and 2. Got a big advantage here. Behind him, you see wiggling and wobbling of Banks trying to get around myself. But these guys continue to battle. You see how good Persson is in 3 and 4. Getting high early. Gets a big drive. Spear right in the mix. This battle rages on. Sweeting way out front.
Chuck Sweeting is loving this. These guys battling behind him is just exactly what he needs.
Unbelievable battle here. Side by side still. We're on 3 to go. Spear, dirting and weaving, looking for somewhere to go. No room. And look at Bernie on the middle of the corner. Just explodes up the track off the corner. Takes that spot. The 8 machine with maybe an unconventional line, but it works.
It really was an amazing run off the corner there.
Yeah, he'd been doing that all night, and very interesting. Here comes Bruce one more time, still looking for second. We're on 2 to go. Chuck Sweeting, your leader, coming down to the white flag.
Still that battle for second. The 4 is trying to get that run on Bernie, but so far no doing.
No doing there. Everything's status quo. Schmolenberg back in 6th, fighting with Troy Torgensen now. He's looking to steal this spot away. Last corner, Chuck Sweeting coming down. He's going to win this thing. The battle here for 5th. We're not in the last corner yet. Bruce gets loose. Spear gets by. Schmolenberg still battling. Here comes TJ Bartell trying to get underneath the Torgensen as well. Not going to get there. Chuck Sweeting going to win this thing as Banks gets around me for 8th. Wow, incredible racing here. Guys doing a great job.
I'll tell you what, for a late race caution and restart with what 6 or 8 laps to go, that was some tremendously hard, clean racing pretty much there. That was just a blast to watch.
That was a blast to watch. I mean, Bernard doing an excellent job. How about Jason Spear on the podium here, 3rd place this evening. Bruce fighting tooth and nail, managed to get 4th. Schmallenberg in 5th. Torgensen, yourself, Banks, everybody pitting, but it's Chuck Sweeting. Wow. And I mean, that restart, he just got away. There was no catching him. Everybody else battling. The 75, man, just a 4th win on the season, TJ. Still not the points leader, though.
Yeah, Chuck's amazing, with what he does on the racetrack and his mastery of, so many disciplines of it with different track types, with, being a fuel miser, with being short run speed and stuff. And, he got that great restart there. And then when they started battling for 2nd, that's all Chuck needed.
That is all he needed. And it was just an amazing event here with the different strategies, 2 stoppers, 1 stoppers, fuel mileage concerns, and then a late race caution packs them all up. Of course, my personal story, I kind of screwed up, got loose. I dropped to 9th, but thankfully I didn't wreck the field. I think Troy come up, kind of hit me, TJ, kind of straightened me out. That might have saved the whole field. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it kind of looked like when you two kind of bumped door to door there, when you got loose, it looked like it kind of straightened your car out. So I think that maybe possibly saved you and maybe the field from a big wreck. But you guys just kept the hammer down and kept racing.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Troy in 6th. It finishes strong, but so many stories. Spear and Bruce, Schmallenberg. I mean, yourself, TJ. What a nice finish, 7th place. I mean, that's a great night to salvage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I talked about it before about not knowing what the car is going to do, and then you resigned yourself with like 11 laps to go that, hey, I'm gonna finish in maybe 9th here, have a halfway decent night, and then the caution comes out, and you're thinking to yourself, well, this could either be good or bad. Maybe I can pick up some spots, maybe I'll lose some spots, and I was able to be the beneficiary there and picked up a few spots and ended up with a halfway decent night. So pretty happy with it.
Absolutely. And we look forward next week now. My goodness. Uh, 8 o'clock will be our time, not 7:30. Still haven't fixed that. And we head to Dega, TJ. And I mean, we got 7 guys within 10 points. And now we're off to Dega. Someone's going to lose the championship at Dega. I don't think you can win it there, but you certainly could lose it there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's like, in a way, I'm glad I'm not one of the guys that it's on top of each other for points, because how do you approach Dega? Do you try and be careful and just salvage what you can so you don't lose a ton of spots, or do you say the heck with it and say I'm gonna get a bunch of spots here? So I'm just glad I'm not in that position. I can kind of go into Dega and just let it hang out and have fun.
Yeah, my brain can't even wrap I can't wrap my head around it right now on what I want to do or how I want to approach it. We'll get there. First, we got to get through trucks and dirt at Bristol. Oh, it's a week, TJ. My goodness. But for this one at Kentucky, thrilling race. Chuck Sweeting, victorious, doing a great job. He's one of those guys. I think he's 6, 7 points back. Like I said, 7 drivers within 10 points as we head into Daga. But for tonight, for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. TJ Bartell, is going to wrap it up from Kentucky on our next day broadcast. We'll see you right here next time